Move over, kids. It's time to get caught up on your Nintendo news. Black Friday is almost upon us, and that means sales are almost upon us. What is Black Friday? It's the day after Thanksgiving. In America, Thanksgiving is the day that we give thanks for everything that we have. Black Friday is the day that we go out and spend the money that we don't have for things we don't need. But the cool thing about Black Friday is, though, that it is full of sales on things that you do need as well, like a Nintendo Switch. And you're saying to yourself, Ken, do we really need a Nintendo Switch? And I'm telling you, yes. You do need a Nintendo Switch, and if you don't have one, it's time to get one, because Black Friday is going to have some really good sales on really good video games. Now, what about the console, though? It looks like the big Nintendo sale for Black Friday is the exact same sale they had last year. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does mean that you're not going to get a Switch for an obnoxiously low price. It means you're going to get a Switch for $299 plus Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 being the most popular game on the system. You can't go wrong with it. You might as well get it for free if you can. That's right. You can get the bundled package at Target, Walmart, Amazon, GameStop, Best Buy, and other places as well. Little tip though, that means that you're going to be getting last year's model, meaning that you don't get the better battery life with this Nintendo Switch, because there was a new model introduced between now and last year's Black Friday. So it looks like Nintendo's going to use this to get rid of some old stock. That's not a bad thing though, because again, the battery life is only 3 hours less. So it's the same exact Switch. It's the same exact Switch, just with a tweak of the battery. So I would just go for it. If you don't have a Nintendo Switch yet, then you might as well just get the one that comes with Mario Kart 8. I've been using that one since day one. We have two actually in my household. Two Switches in my household of the old model, and it is perfectly fine. No need to upgrade just for a better 3-hour battery. When it comes to games, you can get at Target. This is only at Target right now, and only Target and Best Buy have revealed their Black Friday deals so far, so I can only go off of that. But at Target, at the doorbusters, you can get Breath of the Wild, Mario Tennis, and Super Mario Odyssey for $30. Looks like those three games are going to be marked down to $40 at other locales, but at Target, you can get them for $30. It might change depending on what GameStop and Walmart or even Amazon releases on Black Friday, but right now, at Target only for $30, every other location, $40. And there's a bunch of other games as well that are going to be marked down. As more ads come out, we'll talk more about Black Friday, but right now, it's looking like Target is going to be the place to really keep your eye on, which last year Target was a no-go. This year, it's looking Target is the place to be. They even have Killer Black Queen for $15. If you don't know what Killer Black Queen is, an excellent arcade cabinet game. Yeah, an arcade cabinet game. $15 is a literal steal for this game. Let's talk some news. Let's talk some other news. On Wednesday, I believe, Terry Bogard was like really gone in depth. Sakurai took 40 minutes. I didn't know how this dude would take 40 minutes and talk exclusively about one character, and he pretty much did. It was a love letter to SNK. What is SNK? SNK is kind of like Capcom. It's a game publisher. They do a lot of fighting games. They do a lot of Neo Geo stuff from way back in the day. And you might be thinking to yourself, what is a Neo Geo? It was an old system that could play arcade cabinet games in your home as well, and the games were outrageously priced. Or maybe they weren't outrageously priced, but they were like so expensive, top tier, you could not afford the system, nor could you afford the games back 25 years ago, 30 years ago. And what Sakurai did is he reached way back in the past to 1991 and grabbed Terry Bogard and put him in Smash Brothers. And he said, you might not know who this character is, but we have still made him fun, and that's the most important thing about this character. Not that you recognize him, that he's fun to play. I have yet to play him. He is out there right now. You maybe in the comments below you can tell me, have you played Terry? If you have, what do you think? What are your first impressions? Is he overpowered like the hero, or is he really just a great addition to the Smash Brothers roster? With Terry came a lot of cameos from the SNK series, but one character was missing, and Sakurai made sure to poke fun at it. He said Mia, who is a character who, how do I say this? Because my channel is PG, and the reason why Mia was not included was because Smash Brothers is for good boys and girls of all ages. That is exactly what the translation of Sakurai to America said. So use your imagination on why she wasn't included, and it had to do with outfits. And Sakurai, even though he made a joke about it, he wasn't necessarily happy, because he later went to an interview and said that because of the rating board system, he had to change certain characters in the past, and he couldn't get all the characters he wanted in Smash Brothers, like Mia, because of how they were dressed. And Sakurai is such a hardcore gamer that he doesn't want to do, this is me interpreting this, Sakurai doesn't want to alter a character, change a character on his own, so he would rather exclude a character than devalue the character by altering it from himself. Now, he doesn't mind altering a character if the creators ask him to, because that's what happened with the Wii Fit Trainer. He altered the Wii Fit Trainer because the creators asked him to. But if he's not asked to specifically alter a character, he won't do it. He would rather exclude a character, even a character like Mia that he loves. And he was very upset with the rating board system in Japan, saying basically that you're allowed to have guns and firearms in your games, but a piece of clothing, that is where you draw the line. And this is not to get into any kind of Second Amendment type of argument, but he was just like flabbergasted that the firearms and the violence is perfectly okay, but the article of clothing is where the rating board system really steps in and gets their hands messy or whatever. I don't know how to say it, but that's basically why Mia's not included, because of the way she dresses, or the lack thereof the way she dresses. And yeah, he wanted to keep it E for everyone, so he had to exclude one of the characters that he loved. I don't have an opinion. I do have an opinion, but I'm not stating my opinion. All I'm doing is stating some facts to you. The Wii is getting a new game in 2020. Yes, that's right. It's Just Dance 2020. Doesn't matter though. This system is from 2006. The Wii system, 2006, is getting a game 14 years later, even though it has over 100 million sales. People look down at the Wii. I think the Wii is going to go down as one of the best systems of all time, and this kind of is just a little more proof that, yes, it's still getting games. Even its successor, the Wii U, is not getting Just Dance 2020, but the Wii is. Let's jump back to Smash Bros. I forgot to mention that it is now the best-selling game of all time when it comes to fighting games. That's right, it became the best-selling fighting game of all time. All time in less than 1 year. What is the second best-selling fighting game of all time? That title now belongs to Street Fighter 2. That's impressive when you consider that Street Fighter came out in, 91? And it has been selling since 1991, all the way to 2019, it has been selling, and Smash Brothers was able to do that in less than 1 year. So that is a very impressive feat by Smash Brothers. Nintendo Switch sales in Japan are at 10 million. That's a really great number. Japan is not that big of a country. They seem like a big country because we tend to Americanize things in our eyes, where we look at America and we're like 15 million in sales, and we look at how big America is, and then we just say, I bet Japan is as big as America. Now, I don't know how big Japan is in relations to America, but for example, Great Britain, the island of England, is only as big as Ohio, all right? So we tend to take these countries and we just make them huge countries in our mind, but really they're not that big. And so having a 10 million sales in Japan alone is a very big deal for the company of Nintendo. So congratulations, Nintendo, for that huge milestone in Japan, surpassing the PS4 now in Japan alone. Doug Bowser recently gave an interview and he let two things drop. One, they're not discontinuing the 3DS. The 3DS is still here and alive. As long as it is selling, they are going to sell it. Surprise, surprise, a capitalist company making money is going to keep making money if they can. I know we're like, oh, you should just discontinue the 3DS, pour all your time and effort into the Nintendo Switch, but at this point, it's kind of free money if you look at it. Nintendo 3DS has been around since, I don't know, 2011 maybe, and it's at this point super cheap. You can literally buy a system, a 2DS, for 70, 80 bucks and get Mario Kart 7 with it. And that is a huge entry point to little kids, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids getting a system, a handheld system for 80 bucks. That's a lot of money parents can save. Maybe people aren't buying it in droves, but parents are going to be buying it at Christmas time for their kids. Now, Nintendo isn't really like pushing it or advertising it, but they're definitely still stocking the shelves of 3DSs. And I think that's a very smart point because, again, it's so cheap to produce those things right now that Nintendo is just making money hand over fist whenever they sell one 3DS, 2DS, whatever DS you want to call it. They're making a lot of money off it. Now, Bowser did go on to say, yeah, Bowser, not Mario Bowser, Nintendo of America Bowser. He did go on to say, as of right now, we're going to keep supporting the 3DS. Does that mean first-party games are coming to 3DS? Not necessarily. It just means that they're going to keep stocking the shelves, doing updates, and of course allowing third-party games. Any third-party game wants to come to the 2DS, I'm sure they're open to it. But right now, you can forget first-party games, but you will be seeing the 3DS, 2DS on the shelves for a while to come. Now, the other thing that came out of that Doug Bowser interview was he said that they have no plans right now to do an N64 Classic. You know how they did a Nintendo Classic and a Super Nintendo Classic, and the next logical step would either be a Game Boy Classic or an N64 Classic. And it looks like those aren't in the works because they want to focus on Nintendo Online. Nintendo Online is where you get a lot of the classic games on a virtual console or a Netflix style account, and yeah, go for it. That's one less thing I have to buy, so put it all on the online service so I can play it. I would be more than fine with that. And that's hopefully what they're going to do, because when year 3 comes around, I mean, it's no secret, the Nintendo's online system kind of, well, I wouldn't say it sucks, but it's definitely not like as groundbreaking as a company like Nintendo usually is. And I would love for Nintendo to really bust out of their shell when it comes to the online service. And I'm hoping that N64 games would be one way to do it. You know, have a way to play just a ton of N64 games on the online service would be great. And so that's why right now they are not having an N64 Classic, because they're going to focus online, which leads me to believe, well, we're going to get N64 games eventually sooner rather than later. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And that is your news for the week. Let me know if I missed anything, because I go over all your weekly news on Friday or Saturday, depending on when my job allows me to get these videos up. I know, when you're not a full-time YouTuber, it's hard to set a schedule, but I'm going to try to keep it on the weekend. Do your weekly news right here on Move Over Kids. Let me know if I missed anything or if I should cover anything, or what your thoughts in general to what was your favorite news story or whatnot. Guys, it's dangerous to go alone. Please share this video, this channel with a friend, and have yourselves a great day, week, whatever, month.